Will Ethereum hit $700,000 or will it hit $15,000? Right now, some of the boldest predictions in crypto history are being made, and they all focus on Ethereum. Cathie Wood, known for her forward-looking calls at Ark Invest, sees Ethereum going to around $180,000. Tom Lee, a Wall Street veteran, believes Ethereum could climb even higher, as high as $484,000 per ETH. Vivek Raman, an ex-Wall Street analyst and now crypto founder, has put out one of the most extreme forecasts of all at $700,000 per Ethereum. And even Coin Bureau, usually known for their cautious takes, has stepped in to make the case for Ethereum's massive upside. Each prediction is tied to a vision of how Ethereum could evolve and how large the market could become in the next cycle. The spread between these targets may seem outrageous, but so did every bold call in crypto's past before it happened. In this video, I'm going to break down the predictions of Tom Lee, Cathie Wood, Vivek Raman, and finally Coin Bureau. We'll look at what's driving each forecast, how realistic they are, and what they could mean for Ethereum in 2025. And before we jump into it, just a quick reminder, only a small percentage of you watching are actually subscribed. If you're getting value from the videos, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it supports the channel, and you can always change your mind later. Now, let's hear from Cathie Wood first.
So this is the first time we've been able to gain a solid position in Ether. And, sure, it comes at a premium, but what's different from Bitcoin treasuries, like MicroStrategy, now Strategy, is there's just more utility that these Ether treasuries can offer. Staking being one of the most important ones. The Ether ETFs are not allowed to stake.
Cathie Wood has built her reputation on making bold calls that many critics dismiss at first. One of her biggest predictions came in 2022 when Ark Invest said Ethereum could reach a market cap of $20 trillion. That would put each coin at about $180,000. It sounded unrealistic to many at the time, but Cathie pointed out that markets rarely price in disruptive technology until it is already too late. For her, Ethereum is not just a token, but the base layer for a new kind of financial system. Cathie has also compared Ethereum to other chains like Solana. She believes Solana could be strong in consumer applications, but Ethereum's decentralization makes it more secure. For her, that is the quality that matters for a long-term financial backbone. Now, let's move on to Tom Lee's prediction.
Well, to me, Ethereum's having its Bitcoin 2017 moment again. And to give perspective, in 2017, Bitcoin was under 1,000. But that was the year when Wall Street discovered that the narrative of Bitcoin is digital gold, and Bitcoin has gone to 120,000 now, so 120 times increase.
Cathie Wood's target of $180,000 per ETH is already bold, but Tom Lee takes the outlook even further. Lee, well known on Wall Street and now chairman of BitMine, went on CNBC to say Ethereum could reach $444,000. He compared it to Bitcoin's 2017 cycle, when Bitcoin traded below $1,000 before multiplying 120 times in the following years. For Lee, Ethereum today is at the same point in its story, only with more use cases and a growing ecosystem that stretches far beyond digital gold. To put weight behind his words, Lee has structured BitMine as a corporate Ethereum treasury, similar to how MicroStrategy became a corporate Bitcoin treasury under Michael Saylor. MicroStrategy used its balance sheet to buy billions in Bitcoin, raising debt along the way. That strategy paid off, pushing its stock up more than 2,000% over 5 years. Lee is now applying that same playbook to Ethereum, except at a faster pace. Tom Lee believes Ethereum can rise 120 times from current levels, just as Bitcoin did from its own breakout moment. For him, Ethereum is not a side bet anymore. It is the next great trade in financial history. Now, let's move on to the highest prediction coming from Vivek Raman. Raman has a strong background in traditional finance. He spent more than 10 years working as a fixed income and credit trader at Morgan Stanley, UBS, and Deutsche Bank. He is not saying $700,000 will happen right away. His near-term target is $80,000. That number represents what he thinks Ethereum can reach once institutions are fully invested and the market accepts ETH as a core asset. From there, his long-term model scales up towards $700,000 if Ethereum continues to grow into global settlement.
A lot of things have to happen to get there, but I think a $10 trillion asset is not out of question for global infrastructure, where many, many new economies are building on. And that means an 80K ETH. So I think we've almost been in this like PTSD thing where ETH has been performing so badly price-wise for so long that like people just don't dream big anymore. You're like, oh, we were trying to get to 10K last cycle, and then there were a lot of market forces that didn't, and then FTX blew up and everything. So like, I don't know. I think we have to dream a lot bigger. I think we're building the infrastructure for the whole global economy, and that's a $10 trillion asset. So higher, my target's higher than anyone else's. But that said,
80K is definitely up there.
I mean, 706K is really up there too. But no, I just think that we're gonna reprice. Like, it will be Bitcoin, then it was Bitcoin, then it will be Bitcoin and ETH, and I think more and more it's gonna become, hey, why don't we just do ETH? And you're seeing that Bitcoin mining companies are switching to become ETH treasury companies. Everyone we talk to about these treasury assets, they're like, oh, we know why Bitcoin is backing some of them, but now they're starting to say, wait, you can do more with ETH. So why would this not be a better treasury asset? And that's where all this begins. So I'm excited to let that narrative play out.
Raman points to several factors. One is the arrival of spot Ethereum ETFs. These funds allow pensions, insurers, and treasuries to buy ETH in the same way they buy stocks and bonds. Another factor is supply. Since the merge, ETH issuance has fallen. A large share of the supply is staked, another part is locked in smart contracts, and what remains on exchanges is at its lowest levels in years. With so little liquid supply, any new demand can push the price higher. Corporate treasuries are also entering the picture. Companies like Bitmine and SharpLink have already bought billions of dollars in Ethereum, and their stated goal is to keep adding. On top of that, Ethereum is being used for stablecoins, tokenized funds, and bond settlements. Each of these activities burns ETH as fees, reducing supply even further. For Raman, this is not a random guess. He built his career studying how money moves through global markets. His view is that Ethereum is becoming a base layer for those markets. An $80,000 ETH is his first step. The $700,000 call is his long-term outcome if Ethereum continues on its current path. While Vivek Raman points to Ethereum reaching as high as $700,000, Coin Bureau takes a closer look at current data and market positioning to explain why those kinds of forecasts might not be as far-fetched as they sound. Coin Bureau has built a reputation as one of the most cautious research voices in crypto. They normally spend more time pointing out risks than making price calls, but even here the numbers line up with a bullish case for Ethereum. Bitcoin products have pulled in $49 billion, while Ethereum equivalents only managed $4 billion. On the surface, that looks weak, but Coin Bureau notes that it is still a meaningful sum given Ethereum is a smaller portion of the market. Corporate interest tells a different story. SharpLink now holds 88,000 ETH in its treasury. Firms like VanEck believe ETH is set for a solid year, though their numbers are much lower than the long-term predictions of people like Cathie Wood or Tom Lee. VanEck has placed a target of $6,000 by the peak of this cycle. In a December 2024 note, the firm pointed to a combination of catalysts driving Ethereum higher. They cited stablecoin adoption, DeFi growth, and the rollout of spot Ethereum exchange-traded products as factors that would keep demand rising. VanEck also highlighted the possibility of future approval for staking and in-kind redemptions within ETFs, which would act as further support for ETH as an institutional product. Alongside this, their model assumes Bitcoin could top around $180,000, which would place the ETH to BTC ratio at about 0.033. Another range comes from Ark Invest's shorter-term base case. While Cathie Wood has publicly stated her long-term conviction that ETH can reach $180,000, Ark has also outlined a more modest $8,000 scenario for 2025. They represent the cautious side of the bullish outlook, driven by adoption and ETF mechanics rather than full-scale global repricing. This is very different from Whitney's longer-term $180,000 target or Raman's $700,000 thesis, but it still reflects steady confidence that Ethereum will grow in value as institutions continue to onboard, with price targets ranging from $180,000 to $700,000. It's clear Ethereum has become the focus of some of the boldest predictions in crypto, and if you want to stay ahead of these signals and know exactly exactly when the market's heating up or when it's giving you those rare buying windows, I break it down every day in the Crypto Nutshell, my free 5-minute daily crypto newsletter. It's built to give you quick, actionable insights so you can make smarter decisions without spending hours buried in charts or headlines. You'll get clear signals on when to buy, when to take profits, and the latest news that could move markets, all delivered straight to your inbox. Just click the first link in the description, enter your email, and you're in. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.